is one when he was telling, I just wanted to highlight this, make a difference. Then coming to the thank you, Mr. Gopi, for your nice presentation. And coming to another presenter of last session, Srimati Santoshini Munda. Santoshini Munda. जनजाति शिशु शिक्षा निमंते ओडिशा आदर्श विद्यालय भूमिका बढ़िया एक आदर्श विद्यालय has come up very recently. It is not exactly recently, but it is giving a new guidance to the providing education of good quality to scheduled tribe and scheduled caste.
सम्मानास्पद सभापति महोदय तथा सम्माननीय समस्त अध्यापक वृंद छात्र छात्री आज मोर विषय होची जनजाति शिशु शिक्षा निमंते ओडिशा आदर्श विद्यालय भूमिका। साधारण भाव में आम समस्ते जानिथिबा कहा जाए शिक्षा मात्र दुईटी शब्द नुहे दुईटी अक्षर नुहे वर्ण नुहे। मो ना होची संतोषिनी मुंडा। मु ओडिया अध्यापिका ओडिया भाषा और साहित्य विभाग विक्रम विश्वविद्यालय जयपुर। शिक्षा मात्र दुईटी अक्षर नुहे ए दुईटी अक्षर मध्य रही प्रचंड शक्ति जे ताको धारण करिवो से समस्त दुर्बल समय को अति सरल भाव में अतिक्रम करि पारिबो। यहा हम समस्ते अनुभव करि पारुथबा आउ ए शिक्षा पाइनी आज हम ए समस्ते एठारे बसी अछु। हम सब बेले प्रार्थना माध्यम रे मध्य गान करिथौ जे हे प्रभु नियमते असत्य सत्य पथे तमसारु ज्योति पथे मृत्यु अमृत पथे। तो निश्चित भाव में शिक्षा आमको ठीक से ही परि अज्ञान रूपक तमसार ज्ञान रूपक ज्योति पथे पथ प्रदर्शन करिथाय। मनीष शिक्षा बल रे असंभव को संभव करिथाय। जदि आज आमे एठारे पीपीटी प्रेजेंटेशन करूछु बा आज आमे समस्त एठारे जदि आसी कि निजर वक्तव्य गुड़ाक प्रदान करूछु तो भाव रे शिक्षा माध्यम रे ही सफल होई पारुछि। तो ई शिक्षा एही परिप्रेक्षी रे मु निश्चित भाव में आदिवासी अंचल आदिवासी शिशु शिक्षा उपयोगिता को मु उपलब्धि आमे माने करि परिबा। प्रायतः आदिवासी माने बण पहाड़ पर्वत रे तथा सहर रो दूर ग्रामांचल रे बसवास करती। गमनागमन रो सेटिकी तो सुविधा नथिबारु सेठाकार कोन होइताय ना शिक्षार प्रगति बा शिक्षा ठीक भाव रे सेमानकर हेई पारे न थाए। सरकार विभिन्न योजना माध्यम रे आदिवासी अध्युषित अंचल रे कार्य करूछन्ते किंतु ताहा सेते मात्रा रे फलप्रद हे पारु नाही। स्वाधीनतार बहु वर्ष परे मध्य आदिवासी माने शिक्षारु वंचित होय जाउछन्ति। आधुनिक यंत्रपाति अग्रसर रे तालीम नै पारु नाहांती बा सेमाने ता सहित ताल मिलै चली पारु नाहांती। आदिवासी माने शिक्षार अभाव हेतु गुड़ाए सेमानंकर जो ज्ञान अछि ताहा आलोकित हे पारु नाही। किंतु आमे देखिबा को पाइछु जे बण रे रही बणजात द्रव्य संग्रह करी जीवन अतिबाहित सेमाने करिथांती। शिक्षा ग्रहण निमंते दारिद्रता बेले बेले सेमानंकर बाधा प्राप्त होइथाय। हुए तो सेमाने शिक्षार दूर रे किंतु तांको पाखरे पारंपरिक रीति रे वैषयिक ज्ञान प्राप्त होइथाय। एठारे पूर्वरु भी जो माने आलोचना करिसंती समस्त कहिसंती जे सेमानंको पाखरे पारंपरिक माने रीति रे वैषयिक ज्ञान अछि। को ज्ञान अछि ना जंगलजात द्रव्य संग्रह शिकार करिबा माछ धरिबा पशु चाष करिबा स्थायी कृषि पशुपालन गृह निर्माण कला तथा हस्तकर्म अस्त्र शस्त्र तथा उपकरण प्रस्तुति रंधन कार्य शिशु मानकु लालन पालन पानीय जल संग्रह तथा अन्य गृह कार्य धनुर्विद्या सामाजिक प्रथा रीति नीति सामाजिक व्यवहार और आचरण लोककथा सृष्टि तत्व मूल्यबोध जगत दृष्टि इत्यादि संबंध रे सेमाने वयस्क पुरुष तथा महिला मानक ठारू सेमाने शिक्षा लाभ करुथिले। वर्तमान मध्ये अनेक ग्रामांचल मानक रे सेमाने शिक्षा लाभ करूछंती जोटा कि आगुरु भी माने आलोचना रे आसीछि। तो जदि आमे देखिबा सेमानंक पाखरे जदि एतिकी ज्ञान अछि ताहेले निश्चित भाबरे सेमानंको सठिक सेमानंकर पारंपरिक वैषयिक विज्ञानर विकास होई पारिबो आ ताहा केवल संभव होई पारिबो ए शिक्षा माध्यमरे। सांप्रतिक समय रे जनजाति शिशु शिक्षा एबे वर्तमान देखिबाकू गले एहा अतीव गुरुत्वपूर्ण विषय। जनजाति शिशु माने शिक्षा अर्जन निमंते धीरे धीरे देखिबाकू मिलुছে जे सेमाने मध्ये आग्रह प्रकाश करिबाकू लागिलेनी। वर्तमान समय जनजाति संप्रदायर किछि लोक आमे देखिबाकू पाउछु सरकारी क्षेत्र रे हो बा बेसरकारी क्षेत्र रे हो कार्यानुष्ठान मानकरे कार्यरत अछंती, जो द्वारा जनजाति लोक माने मध्ये सचेतन हेबारे लागि छंती। सेमाने मध्ये काम करिवे, आगकू बढ़िबे, दारिद्रता दूर करिवे एभली चिंताधारा तांको मनरे आसिलानी। प्राथमिक शिक्षा होछि पिलांक पई जरूरी। प्रायतः आमे जनजाति शिशु मानकू देखिछु जे सेमाने सरकारी विद्यालय रे पाठ पढंती। किछि जनजाति अर्थात जो मानकर परिवार बा जो मानक घरे आर्थिक स्वच्छलता माने स्वच्छल देखा जाउछि सेही परिवारर पिला माने ही कोन करंती सरकारी विद्यालय रे पाठ न पढी कि अधा इंग्रजी माध्यम विद्यालय रे मध्य शिक्षा अर्जन करिथांती। किंतु बेले बेले कोन होइथाय आर्थिक दुर्बलता जंगु किछि पिला बेसरकारी विद्यालय रे पाठ पढी पारंती नाही, जदियो सेमानक पाखरे ज्ञान थाए। आ जो माने पाठ भी पढंती बेले बेले एमिति हे जाय तांका घरे कोनोसी कारणवशत जदि आर्थिक अवस्था देखा गला ताले सेमाने सेही इंग्रजी माध्यम रे ताकर पाठ पढा कोन कर दियंती स्थगित कर दियंती, जहा कि माने पाठ माने गोटे दक्ष छुआ भी पाठ पढिबारे अर्थ ताको बाधक साजी थाए। तो आमे जदि देखिबा एई परिप्रेक्षी रे सरकारक द्वारा योजना होइथिबा ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय अनुष्ठान गुडिकर आमे भूमिका को उपलब्धि करि पारिबा। ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय आम समस्त जानिथिबा जे सरकारक एक उच्च अभिलाषी पदक्षेप अटे। बिना मूल्य रे ओडिसा रो ग्रामीण प्रतिभा मानकू नै इंग्रजी माध्यम रे गुणात्मक भाबरे शिक्षा प्रदान करिबा एहा एक स्वागत योग्य प्रयास। हां सर एबे ही गला सर। तो एहा प्रायतः प्रति ब्लॉक रे ओडिसा रो प्रति ब्लॉक रे ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय रहिछि। आ एथिरे जनजाति शिशु शिक्षा विकास निमंते आदर्श विद्यालय एक माने ब्रिज सदृश जनजाति शिशु माने अनेकांश रे लाभवान होई पारुछन्ति। निम्न से संपर्क रे किछि आलोचना रहिछि। ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय इंग्रजी माध्यम विद्यालय अटे। इंग्रजी माध्यम विद्यालय प्राय शहर रे अवस्थित, किंतु ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय छोट शहर और ग्रामांचल रे प्रतिष्ठा करा जायछि। एहा जनजाति अध्युषित अंचलर शिशु मानक पई सुविधादायक अटे। उच्च धरणर पाठ पढिबार सुयोग मिलि थाए। बिना मूल्य रे ग्रामांचलर पिला माने पाठ पढिबार सुयोग पारती। प्रति ब्लॉक रे अनुसूचित जनजाति रो जनसंख्या अनुसार आदर्श विद्यालय रो सीट संरक्षण व्यवस्था रहिछि। शिशु कन्या मानक पई 50% सीट रो संरक्षण व्यवस्था रहिछि, जहा जनजाति शिशु कन्या मानक पई बड़ आनंदर विषय। ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय रे शिक्षा अर्जन द्वारा शिशु मानकर व्यवहारिक शैली रे किछिटा परिवर्तन देखा जाउछि। बा ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय केंद्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा बोर्ड द्वारा सहमत। आ एठारे प्रायतः एनसीईआरटी बही गुडाक पढिबा में सुयोग दिया जाय। आ एहा षष्ठ श्रेणी रु अष्टम श्रेणी पर्यंत बिना मूल्य रे सब वर्गर शिशु मानक प्रदान करि दैते, किंतु नवम और दशम श्रेणी रो पुस्तक खाली सब वर्गर पिला मानक न मिली कि एहा केवल अनुसूचित जाति और जनजाति शिशु मानक पई उपलब्ध। एठारे उच्च मानर विज्ञानगार अछि बा कंप्यूटर लैब रो लाभ पाई परिबे, जोटा कि पिला माने बाहर होय तो पाई पारु नथिबे। विद्यालय रे छात्रावास छात्री निवास रो मध्य व्यवस्था रहिछि। जो शिशु माने दूर रथिबे बा एठारे मु कहिबा पई चाहली जे जनजाति शिशु माने अन्य वर्ग शिशु मानक सहित मध्य मिलामिशा कले भावर आदान प्रदान होई पारुछि बा सांस्कृतिक सामाजिक संहति देखा जाउछि। उच्च योग्य प्राप्त शिक्षक शिक्षात्री ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय रे शिक्षादान करंती। पाठ पढ़ा सहित शिशुर सर्वांगीन पई सुव्यवस्था रहिछि। खेल गीत विभिन्न कला शिशुंकर माने सेथिरे शिशुंकर आग्रह मध्य बढ़ुछि। जनजाति शिशुंक पई प्री मैट्रिक स्कॉलरशिप मध्य प्रदान करा जाय। प्रायतः आमर भाषा उपरे अधिक जेहेतु करागला निश्चित भाव में गोटे आदिवासी पिला ता निज भाषा तापरे ओडिया भाषा तापरे पुणी इंग्रजी भाषा ताको निश्चित भाव में जते बेले से आसीबो प्राइमरी स्कूल रो से केमिति बा जानि पारिबो बा केमिति सिखिबो सेथि पई एई प्रश्न मोर मध्य थिला किंतु एठारे माने पचारिबारु कोहा गला जे सेथि शिक्षक मानकु जे गुटे ब्रिज कोर्स जोटा कि संयोग पाठ्य खसड़ा रही जे गोटे पिला जदि जानु नाही इंग्रजी ताहले से पिला को प्रथमे ताकू मौलिक इंग्रजी ज्ञान दिया जिवो तापरे जे कि ताकू से विषय वस्तु उपरे पाठ पढाइबा पे आरंभ करि दिया जिवो कारण म एतिकी मु कहिबा पे चाहूची जे जेहेतु गोटे एटा सुजोग ताहले गोटे आम शिक्षक मानकर मध्य दायित्व रही जदि एभली गोटे ताकू स्थान मिलुचे जो थारे तांकर जो दक्षता अछि से दक्षता को से माने एई स्कूल माध्यम रे मध्य विकास करि पारिबे आ सेति निमंते समस्त को अनुरोध जे आमे सेई पिला मानन को सेई विषय रे आमे माने अवगत कराइबा ओ तांकू शीर्ष स्थान को पहुंचाइबा तो आदिवासी अध्युषित अंचल ए जो शिशु मानन को शिक्षा द्वारा विकसित करिबा ओडिसा आदर्श विद्यालय रो एहा एक सुंदर प्रयास एहा द्वारा अनेक जनजाति शिशु माने उपकृत होई पारिबे जहा द्वारा आम प्रदेश पय गोटे गर्व और गौरवर विषय धन्यवाद
थैंक यू मैडम संतोषिनी मुंडा in fact Madam Santoshini has very nicely defined first education, right education, leading from darkness to light. That means there is no bad education. We say quality of education is poor, but that is nothing like bad education. Education is a positive concept. And she has outlined a host of skills that most of the tribal communities, that of their own, they have and many things to learn. And it, I guess the Indian knowledge system, the tribal knowledge system plays a key role. That is one. And when in my first session I was talking about that there should be a group of tribal leaders. That is one of the consisting, the 5 principles. A group of tribal leaders who will work as a role model. And maybe हमारा जो मैडम संतोषिनी मैडम, she belongs to Munda community, and she is a lecturer in Odia language. So language, how language is a barrier, which Professor Munda is highlighting time and again. So the people like this, they can create an impact on the people those who are working for the promotion of education. Thank you very much. Anybody left from the past session? No? Okay. So now let us proceed to current session. Devananda Nayak. और मो मतरे सब भल प्रेजेंटेशन होची जे कम समय रे माने बहुत जिंस हम प्रेसिस नथि लागि प्रेसिस थिला सबटु माने भल गुण होची सेमिनार जे आपण मते 5 मिनिट दउछन ना 10 मिनिट दउछन ना आधा घंटे दउछन ना घंटे दउछन जे से अनुसार कहि पाइलो से होची भल सब भल जे मो कथा बुझि Okay. Good. Thank you, sir. Shall I say?
Honorable Chair, sir, respected Speaker, sir, and all my intellectual auditors. My topic is all about language and tribal education. I will give a gist of this paper, not going through this one. Frankly speaking, this paper is all about the psychosocial approach, that how our concept formation is going on in our mind. Simply, I am introduction. I am Devananda Naik, lecturer in education, Simlivoda College, Colombo. For example, I am a tribal child and I have my own brain. It has some small pockets or categories, right? And in that categories, I put the impressions from the outside environment through the agents, like language, like image, or like anything else. And that I stored. Going through the Piaget's theory of development, it creates my schematic, right? So by the gradual interaction with the environment, it may be the family, it may be the teachers or school, it gets modified. And again, to re-switching to Vygotsky theory, we need some scaffolding, that means assistance from the other. So as I grew up to 3 or 4 years towards my informal education, so I there develop a structure, and the structure is of two types. One is social structure, another is the linguistic structure. In social structure, there is a combination of categories where I just put my festivals, songs, folk mares, and everything is there. In tribal society, there is no written form. That's why all are there in songs, folk mares, stories, and etc. They have stored in my mind. Suddenly I go to, and for this, and to express that, I need a medium that is called language. And the language is called the native language or the mother tongue, that we know. So, every tribal language or every society has its own language, right? So, this is called the native language or the home language. This is an expression, that's why it is called every thought requires a language and every language requires a thought. It is a self-expressive, what I think, and what my thought process is going on, how I perceive the things, everything I just express in the form of maybe a verbal language or through my body language. As the child comes to the school, there he finds something different language. For example, I come to Korapur 5 years ago, I may be wrong, some child say me in a Kui language, Ninu Dukan Hajme. That means I want to go to Dukan. So here in these phrases, I just find out three things. One is the Telugu accent of Ninu, one is Dukan, an Arabic accent, Oregon accent, and Hajimai, that is the own language. So language expresses how a society or how a community progresses. That means what are the cultural variations. Now the tribal society of 1930s and the tribal society of 2023 are different because the system has been changed, we are globalized and the contents are available and the people are moving towards multicultural society, not in a monocultural society. So what happens when a child comes to the school, he just experiences a new language called the regional language, Hindi or English. Due to the stock of vocabulary, he or she faces one of the biggest challenges, that is self-expression. That the language itself carries something social and cultural values. So when somebody is speaking Odia, the Odia language is evolution, is development, its transmission also carries the social and cultural values, which is completely isolated from a particular type. So they found something new and they are something abstract and vague. So this ambiguous situation created an impression. I would like to highlight one of the story, that the blind 6 people and the elephant story. So they feel, for example, I speak any language, for example, Prakriti. So the Prakriti, one tribal child feels something different, one tribal child feels something different, and one child feels something different. So this creates a cognitive conflict in the mind of the child. Because we have non-availability of scaffolding, because the teachers have not been assisted the child for the conceptual development, that means linking the concepts or ideas so that he or she would create an image. The perfect image is not created and the tribal child feels isolated and they feel that I am not been fit for this situation and they go back into their places and that results in the dropouts. So my suggestion is to develop such kind of curriculum, textbook that should fit to the locally example. And one of the example I could also cite, if I will say what are the amphibians to the Koraput children, if snake is an amphibian or not. For the small children, they will say no. because they see snakes are living in artils or under the land. But I will ask the same question to Baleshwar people, they will say, no, 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 both. I have seen the snakes in the pond or rivers and anywhere. But the Koraput people may say that I have seen the snakes only in the land or in the artil. So the language, the curriculum, the concept, the examples that we want to teach the students at the basic primary level should based on the theoretical aspects. Not that we have to mechanically teach them, and those teachers are getting appointed in the tribal dominated areas or tribally or linguistically dominated areas. They should have gone through the training that about the climatical environment, about the examples here present, and the language of the people. So that I think the dropout rate, the perfect conceptual development of the children, and other aspects could be developed, and our policies could be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Devaranji. Very nice presentation. Give you time. And in fact, he has expressed all his he wanted to say in a very synoptic way. And he said very one important thing that the sense I was also telling. Contextual. Culturally relevant pedagogy. Culturally relevant means when we are giving any examples like what he said, when we are doing some kind of activities, maybe story activities or sports, this should be all locally relevant. Then that will attract the tribal children. And he said one thing very important, that is based on the Piaget's theory of cognitive development. You know, Piaget, you see, Piaget, he didn't take so much big sample to develop his own theory. Like there are 4 stages of cognitive development. And in identifying the 4 stages, he only studied his own child for a long 16 years.
That is the development, sir.
That
is the development, which is not to be applicable to all.
That is applicable, but now that is applicable to all. Nobody has just proved that Piaget's theory of cognitive development, sensory motor, then personal and formal operation. These are stages of development, and language development mostly related to cognitive development. So nobody has proved this theory. Theory can be also wrong, because theory is theory. Theory is not truth. Okay? Theory can be also modified, but so far Piaget's theory of development is taught across the country. You see, on the basis of one experiment only one child, he has this that has been universally accepted. Then how can we say that tribal children are cognitive? They are more into their cognitive ability. We cannot say. This justified. Thank you very much. Now we will go to the next speaker, Ghanashyam Sir. I request him to again introduce himself and just to present foundational literacy and numeracy, readiness of preschool tribal children in Odisha. Please type 3 to 4 minutes. Very good.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. It was studied about variety. It is a part of the research project given by the Minister to us. I am Dr. Ghanashyam Sahu, Assistant Professor in College of Teacher Education, Kalani, Panipat. So this study is awarded a small project. How particularly talking about the preschool children. As you know that the foundational literacy and numeracy is one of the evolving concepts. So let's start why this study of preschool readiness is important. If we go through the Sustainable Development Goal, I mean the Sustainable Development Goal 4.2 talking about the importance of the pre-primary education, which is the foundational stage for development of any children. Then we come based on the Sustainable Development Goal. Government of India has created a separate stage or foundational stage in our National Education Policy 2020 and given utmost priority to how child development is possible and the readiness of the children is got utmost. And we go through the major network, that is the PAL network, the Pratham SR Odisha, India and Australian Center for Educational Research. They found that the ELITA concept, the early language literacy and numeracy assessment, shows that it is very important to understand that nowadays from the 2018 to 2022, there is sharp decline in arithmetic and linguistics achievement outcome of the students over the last 5 years. Based on that, we have studied, based on the assessment of the the assessment of, you can say that, with the support of the central government and the state government, and also from the UNICEF, we have developed based on the 10 important indicators outcome. That what are the literacy readiness, particularly in 3 aspects. One is whether the students are able to recall the image देखिए से माने what the पढ़ी पार्थिन करने, जी ओडिया जो alphabets है, ताकि recognize कर पार्थिन करने, और लिखी पार्थिन, एक तीनटा outcome of study का थिला language. Numeracy रे कौन थिला? Counting numbers, recognition of numbers, and writing the numbers. And third important thing, जो हमारे most of the theories को भी general ability, whether they are able to discriminate object to shape द्वारा, size, color, and general property based on the 10. These are the common 10 outcomes. This study was conducted in Kalahandi, Kandamas, and Mohiban districts, covering about 180 students. So the sample size was very large, around 1500. But as this topic is dealing only to travel development, so we have 30 Anganwadi centers, those are the best Anganwadi centers. Because as a report, there are so many policies, so many experts identify that there are so many policies compared to their methodology. So we have taken the best Anganwadi centers, 30 Anganwadi centers, and 6 from each. And how this sample is selected? I mean, I think attendance is one of the major factors. So I may say students only need to, only 180 students, the attendance is more than 30%. So that segregation thela, up to 50% attendance, 50 to 70% attendance, and above 70% attendance thela, say some tinta certifications thela. And based on that, as per the approved by UNICEF, we have used the school readiness test battery, covering through our national early childhood care education curriculum framework major indicator achhi jodi dekhiba next. These are the tools. ये जो 4-5टा थिला ताको कुहा जाउतला आइडेंटिफाई देयर ओन लैंग्वेज सेतिरे देखा गला सेकंड इज ओडिया अल्फाबेट्स और किछि मिसिंग वर्ड थिला देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड राइट और नथिंग इज रॉन्ग तो सेमाने तांकर ओन कॉन्टेक्स्ट टू नेकी वर्ड से फॉर्मेशन तो देखा गला हमें देखिबा जे अबाउट जब भी हमें टोटल एई थिला हमर 10 मार्क्स थिला जो थिला हमें देखिबा 65% major students are able to, about 65 students, 65% image to select it body per. But 52% only recognize but most important thing is that reading is one of the major lacuna area in most of the travel area जो हमें inter-district. So 8 parameter there is sharp decline. हमें चल move कर from the verbal to the written aspects. Recall recognitions out there हमें written aspect to जो there is sharp decline. Next. तो हमें आपको देख देता हूँ कि अपना पिक्चर को काउंट करके नंबर को रिकॉग्निशन करना तो रिकॉग्निशन क्वेश्चन देखा गला सेकंड इज ओनली ताको रीड करिवार अछि फोर अछि काउंट करके लिखिवार अछि तो एई तरह भी देखिबा नंबर ऑफ काउंटिंग अबाउट 50% स्टूडेंट्स गॉट सक्सेस रिकॉग्निशन रेट 42 एंड देयर आर मेजर कंसर्न्स इन नंबर ऑफ हियर इज आल्सो इन लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमेरी आल्सो हमर राइटिंग रे पिला माने बहुत फेल हो नेक्स्ट अब जो चारिटा मेजर पैरामीटर्स थिला these are the पिला कलरटा डिस्क्रिमिनेट करि पारे सेकंड शेप रे डिस्क्रिमिनेशन whether it is big or small fourth one is shape रे जो तीनटा अछि अदर विल डिफरेंट एंड लास्ट वन इज मोर इंपोर्टेंट द प्रॉपर्टी इन द सेंस ऑफ एनिमल और बर्ड्स हो किबा एनी प्रॉपर्टी को कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी नेकी से डिस्क्रिमिनेट करि पारे और सेतरे जो देखिबा कलर डिफरेंशिएशन अबाउट 94% इवन करि पारे एंड जो देखिबा डिफरेंशिएट जो कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी थिला hardly 46% were able to handle. People merge together. Next. So, jodi dekhiba, there is huge, very strong correlation between attendance and the school attendance. So, numerical dekhiba jodi hame, jo mane maximum time attendance rahutile school re, their performance is better. And similar in literacy, but most important thing is general ability. Most of the travel students are very perfect in general ability, but you will find there are difficulties in identifying the numeracy literacy, numeracy skill, particularly counting and rating the numbers. So these are the, you will see. So numeracy literacy to the combined next something. So the foundational literacy moderate, we have the moderate level achievement. Numeracy less than 50% mark is moderate, sorry, low. General competencies less than 7, more than 70% mark combined categories high effective and जल्दी देखिबा numeracy lower थिला, literacy moderate and general ability very high score. But overall जो देखिबा हमें 70% students are in the column of moderate category. Overall जो देखिबा maximum जो हमारे 50% mark देते overall score रे तो numeracy रे 37% students pass, literacy रे 55%, general ability 85%. So overall जो देखिबा 51%. What असर is to असर जो देखिबा में particularly जो गुटे single dimension लेके जो माने करछंती हमें गुटे particular dimension without giving the option of the student so are restricting them to do this. तो हमें से जगह कोन चेंजेस करथिलु पिला पाखरे गुटे flexibility रखिलु जे आपण ए भितर जोटा करेक्ट करि पारि according to your own context. So it will be easier for the students to understand and have the flexibility जोटा पे हमर कहूची students को maximum flexibility दबा. तो से बेसिस से देखिबा तो फाइंडिंग सोच दिला में देखिबा ओवरऑल देखिबा हाई परसेंटेज इन अटेंडेंस जो माने बेटर होचंदी से माने परफॉर्मेंस बेटर होची तांकर आउ जो ट्रैवल स्टूडेंट्स को देखिबा जेतु हमें गुड अटेंडेंस और भला अंगनवाड़ी सेंटर सेंटिलु moderate to just touching the moderate level around 50% student attend होचंदी and general ability जो लोग discriminate कर पाबा color shapes को that is better. Numeracy readiness is still the method concerns and most of the study that's showing that numeracy is a method concern. Major important thing, the verbal skill is better compared to the reading skill. So, in travel, particularly Anganwadi center, priority should be given to also to the reading skills, to develop the reading ability. Attendance and the school readiness highly put it. जितने अधिक और अधिक हमें attendance पिला अधिक करेंगे, जितने better performance करेंगे in literacy and numeracy. And these studies findings are supported by so many studies. Earlier done by the whether we're talking about Mohanty 70s and others, good scholars those who are a very well advanced in this literacy and numeracy skill. And we only have the few suggestions. There are so many suggestions, but few are that the attendance should be given utmost priority. In Anganwadi centers, only students are attending in nutritional program. Educational activity is under attendance का बहुत low होगी. So attendance should be given priority. Second thing is that the number का measure problem होगी. So what are the program model जो कि already government has introduced about the CRH approach, that is concrete, representational and abstract approach. That approach to be must be followed early. If we say they are going ahead, तो स्थिति में हमें CRH approach को promote कर रहा था. Third is that writing skill ऊपर more focus होगी. Hands-on experience में बात. Rather than हमारे अंगनवाड़ी के हमें more focus करते हैं rhymes, play-way activity पे. But in between जब देखिए हमें writing skill बहुत possible हो जाती है. How important is ICT device? पिला में more accustomed with the ICT device. We should keep some utmost priority weekly one session weekly once in a week. सेटा में ICT device को digital को promote कर रहा था. FLN training is must. अंगनवाड़ी centers just there for the play-way activity more focus. But FLN orientation जेतु हमें FLN को वर्तमान हमें उधर foundational stage तक school system को आनी चाहिए. तो FLN trainings अंगनवाड़ी centers को दरकार. Now हमारा जो अंगन training अच्छी only is confined to the primary teachers. So अंगनवाड़ी should be the worker must be trained on the FLN training. And most important thing वर्तमान जो तार program का monitoring करते हैं जो अंगनवाड़ी supervisor that should be replaced with a person who is well acquainted with the FLN procedure. तापर ही जति हम जति unless and until जति preschool को foundation में strong न करिबा से पर्यंत हमें school education पर जहां focus करबी it will be because 1 to 6 year is the primary foundation mental. So that's why this is and this study is also highly appreciated by the UNICEF and government of Odisha also appreciate, and they have also the CRF recommendation has been strongly adopted and now we are adopting in most of the teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Ghanshyam Sahu. It's a nice presentation. In fact, many of you must be aware that foundational literacy and numeracy in the context, NEP has observed that there are 5 crore children in the country, particularly at the elementary school level, those who are not able to read and write and do simple mathematical operations. So, taking cognizance to this figure, high figure, 5 crore children means a small country like advanced country also is having only 5 crore population. So in 2021, taking it as a national crisis, government viewed it as a national crisis and started one initiative that's called Nipun Bharat. Nipun Bharat. Nipun Bharat means national initiatives for proficiency in reading with understanding and literacy. So under that now all the states have started giving FLA training to the primary school teachers, as we have said rightly. But a year back, the state of Assam started it giving to Anganwadi, 100% Anganwadi workers. And fortunately, I was the evaluator of that program by state of Assam. And still that the final report is not because I was transferred and I am again going in this 1924 to complete that project. So this is really very good study and of critical importance. Thank you very much.
न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी रे अंगनवाड़ी को जो टूल केसरे ಅದರ कोन अधिक इंपैक्ट पड़ो एजुकेशन कोन स्पेशल इंपैक्ट पड़ो
नहीं देखंतु जदि एटा प्रश्न पचरा होछि जे आगु तो भलो थिला प्राइमरी अपर प्राइमरी थिला ताले ए जिनसटा काहेकि करा गला तार जस्टिफिकेशन दियाछि मत नेशनल पॉलिसी because these have been 5 plus 4, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 on the basis of the cognitive development of the child. And it is said that by foundational stage, foundation means घरर to आने कौन सी नियो that. Amar 85% of the brain development happens during this period. And it is based on the principle of psychology, cognitive development. Therefore, these stages have changed. So if things are coming, there are bases, not arbitrarily this has been done.
Sir, holistic education is also emphasized, but it is not a new endeavor made by our government. Rather, it is just like a old wine in new bottle. What I think, because in our Vedic period it was also stressed in our educational system.
In Vedic period it was there, as you know, composite system.
Sir,
रामचंद्र तांको भाई माने जाइके तो गुरु वशिष्ठ को बारे सिखुथिले से कोन सिखुथिले माने गाड़ी चलेबा डांस सिखुथिले म्यूजिक सिखुथिले सब सिखुथिले ताको तो होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन यू आर राइट बट विथ द कोर्स ऑफ टाइम दैट हैज नॉट हैपेंड बिकॉज़ ऑफ द ब्रिटिश सिस्टम ऑफ एजुकेशन मैकेले सिस्टम 1935 सो we have diverged from our culture now therefore NEP 2020 the first education policy which talks about India-centric education. India-centric education, Indian knowledge system, tribal knowledge system. हमें से दूरे ही जाइए. अपन पूरा 100% किन हमें कोई. So thank you very much. बहुत रहूँ.
sir, I am your student, sir. Please, बाबू को.
समस्ते teacher, समस्ते student.
I go down to your feet, sir.
So now the next presenter is Chakradhar Mehra. Please introduce yourself and start. His topic is Indian tribal education, status, problems and opportunities. Actually, I have one reservation regarding tribal education. The term tribal education. I was telling you about that. Actually, there is nothing like tribal education. It is the education of the tribal children. So, there is nothing like tribal education and non-tribal education. If there is non-tribal education, if there is not non-tribal education, but how there is tribal education? But big books are also common tribal education. I am not just telling you because many of us are using tribal education. tribal communities, tribal people, tribal areas you can use, but don't say tribal education. Because we are not having a separate type of education. If we say that tribal culture will be embedded in their education, then our culture also should be, rural culture should be also embedded in our culture. So there is no, anyway, yes, no problem. Carry on.
Thank you, sir. Esteemed chairperson, and other dignitaries and pupil teachers. So, good afternoon to all. Myself, I am Chakravarti Behera from B.ed College of Teacher Education, Koraput. Sir, my topic is Indian tribe. The Indian tribal education, situation, problems and opportunities. So here I am trying to focus on three concepts: situation, problems and opportunities of tribes in Indian education. India is a home to a large variety of indigenous people. The scheduled tribe population represents one of the most economically impoverished and marginalized groups in India. With a population of more than 10.2 crores, India has the single largest tribal population in the world. This constitutes 88.6% of the total population of the country, according to the census of India 2011. And education is one of the primary agents towards development. Education is impact and input not only for economic development of tribes, but also for the inner strength of the tribal communities, which helps them in meeting the new challenges of life. So in this, Pradhan sir has already told in his session, in his keynotes, that is in Mizoram, that is 94.4%, the highest population are in Mizoram, then Lakshadweep, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and in some parts of Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal, there are the tribes are there. And there are more than 700 tribes that have been notified under Article 344 of the Indian Constitution. Next. So, my objectives of this study are to study the situation of the tribal education in India, to examine the impact on tribal people and efficacy of various educational programs, evaluate the gaps in their education and recommend appropriate corrective action to close those gaps. The next, this is the map of the different tribes in different parts of the India. So you can find the different names of the different tribes and the percentage. In this map you will find the percentage of population of tribes in different parts of India. Next. This is according to the census 2011. This is the data of literacy rate of tribes in India. You can find here the literacy rate among the female are very miserable. You can see here. If you study the data, you can find that the literacy rate among the female is very miserable. It is a serious concern. So here we can find some of the problems of tribes in education. तो पंडा साहब का जो सेशन के बाद मुझे पता चल रहा है कि एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम उनमें नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम हम में है। जो हमारे इंडियन सिस्टम ऑफ एजुकेशन उन पे फोकस करना चाहते हैं, तो प्रॉब्लम हम में है, प्रॉब्लम उन पे नहीं है। फिर भी मैं कुछ जनरल प्रॉब्लम्स बताना चाहता हूँ। Some of the factors, social factors. So if you go to their community, you find there is a social bond. There are highly social bond among them. I have just attended one marriage function, marriage party of our colleague Upendra Savasar. He is from ST community. I have attended this marriage party, and I was there more than 4,000. He has arranged food or lunch for more than 4,000 people. 4,000 people, and 4,000 people, they come from different areas by lorries or by arranging their own vehicles. So इसमें उनको जो सोशल बॉन्ड उससे पता चलता है कि उनमें कितने अटैचमेंट है। तो इतने सारे वो अरेंजमेंट किए थे, वो सब all females, there is no disparities in females and males. सारे मेल भी आए थे, फीमेल भी आए थे, सब वो एंजॉय कर रहे थे। और उनका जो डांस भी देखेंगे, तुम ग्रुप में होकर वो डांस करते हैं, उनका जो स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीफ ऑन देयर गॉड, देयर ट्रेडिशन, so we can say that they have strong in their society, but वही कभी-कभी उनका जो हमारे एजुकेशन को एक्सपेक्ट करने में वही जो उनका स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीव होता है, वही एजुकेशन को एक्सेप्ट करने में कभी-कभी प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है। जो उनके जो स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीव के कारण वो कभी-कभी अपने बच्चों को स्कूल में नहीं भेजते हैं, और वो कुछ कम्युनिटी ऐसे सोचते हैं यदि हम बच्चों को भेजेंगे वो हमारे घर गॉड नाराज हो जाएंगे। अगर then there are some economic factors. This is a scene of a local market that they actually they sell vegetables to maintain their livelihood, not to get money or other things. So due to poverty, they can't send their children for the education. Then lack of interest in formal education. In formal education, we have textbooks, we have examination pattern, we have curriculum, but that is different from the tribal system. They can't relate them to our formal education. So it's a problem for them to accept our formal education. So there is a lack of interest in formal education. So this is one of the problems. The next, I have collected this from internet, that two of the teachers, one is K7A and Shivsakti, with the salary of 7,000, they have worked in tribal areas and they have tried their